Reinvention is the key to overcome new challenges and keep growing. Welcome to South Summit 2020. A new networking platform with a revolutionary live TV format to access and connect from any device, anytime, and anywhere. Join South Summit 2020 and multiply your business opportunities.
Good morning and welcome to South Summit 2020 edition. Yes, against all odds, we are back. The global pandemic may have kept us apart, but thanks to technology, we are more connected than ever. In fact, on this edition, we're not only broadcasting from this fabulous TV set in La Nave in Madrid, but also from New York City, Singapore, Buenos Aires, Milan, London, Barcelona, San Francisco. So you see, we are back, stronger and more global than ever before. I am thrilled to be back as your host, yet another edition. My name is Helena Diaz Fuentes, as I say in English, Hellington Fountains, and in Instagram. And today we are starting with a track we have entitled The Future of Work. We couldn't start with a better track. Science fiction writers have been questioning the future of work for a long time. What will the world of work look like? We question. In films, the future of work is far from happy. It will be dull, according to Total Recall. You remember Schwarzenegger. Monochrome, if you watch Metropolis. Strictly monitored in the film Brazil. And elitist, as portrayed in Gattaca, my favorite of the four, by the way. According to this, work in the future will exclude people and drive them crazy. Yet, if we look back a few decades, we can see an evolution that has made the workplace more inclusive, more empowering, and more exciting than ever before. And the recent acceleration towards remote working is transforming work habits, environments, and options dramatically in ways we could have never predicted just 6 months ago. Which means that this year's track, Future of Work, is more relevant and exciting than ever. So, let's do it. We are starting with South Summit's Most Wanted, which, as you know, are the 100 startups that made it to the final startup competition. But don't panic. We are not meeting all of them today, just the ones in this track. But first, let me walk you through the competition's dynamic. We have 11 startups in this track, which is divided in 3 sections. We have 4 startups in productivity and services, 3 in workplace, and 4 in customer experience. They will do, as usual, a 3-minute pitch, and we'll have 30 seconds to answer 1 or 2 questions from the jury, who will be the ones to select the winner that will move on to tonight's final. And they will do so based on 5 criteria: innovation, scalability, team, viability, and investability. And as usual, in every edition of South Summit, we have a top jury for this track as well. And we have them in 2 sides. We have the physical jury and the virtual jury. Let me introduce you first to the physical jury, as they took the effort to come all the way to La Nave. And we have with us here Kiko Leon. Kiko Leon is, I'm going to double check that I have your correct, the Chief of Investors, he's the Chief Innovation and Information Officer at Decathlon Spain. Welcome, Kiko. Lovely to see you again. And we have here with us Paloma Tejada, who is very busy talking. Paloma Tejada, she has a new job, and she's the Director of People, Agile and Communication in Client Solutions Division at BBVA. She just changed jobs, and I had the old one. Welcome, Paloma. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you. Well, our jury is most crowded on the other side of the room, but we're going to have always priority for our jury the physical jury in the set. Let me just say hello to our virtual jury. My God, look at this panel of people. Hello, everybody. Say hello, move your hands, show us you're alive. Hello, my God. I'm going to mention you without titles. You're too many. So let me say hello to Carlos Rabazo from Telefonica. Carlos, where are you? Raise your hand. Hey, Carlos. Carlos, you're here. Susie Mayer for Notion Capital. Susie, where are you, Susie? Send our love to Ichazo del Palacio. We have Jasper Maisman from H.E. Holzbridge Venture. Jasper, where are you, Jasper? Oh, okay. Then we have Lina Chong from Target Global. Finn Murphy, say hello, from Frontline Ventures. Alberto Gomez, of course, from Adara Ventures. Stefan Ganchven from Launch Hub Ventures, sorry. Alex, no, it's not Alexander, sorry. We have Mamadou, yes, we have Mamadou from Indivest Partners. Luz Adel, hello Luz, what a long hair you have from Draper B1. Yolanda Perez from B Startup 10, Sabadell in Barcelona. Borja Ballesté, Inverready, Borja, and Ricardo Álvarez Cienfuegos from Plug and Play Tech Center. I remind the jury, both virtual and present, that they have to raise your hand when you want to send a question to our entrepreneurs, and that the entrepreneurs have 30 seconds to answer. Okay, so let's start with the first of our 11 startups of today. And we're going to fly to the United States. It's been 6 years since a computer program called Eugene, which simulates a 13-year-old Ukrainian boy, passed the famous Turing test. The experiment based on Alan Turing's question and answer game to test whether people can detect if they are talking to machines or humans. Our next startup helps customers and employees get meaningful answers when sending in complex text documents, thus automating help desk. Would they pass the Turing test? Let's find out from Benedict von Merey, sales manager of Alganize. And here he is. Hello. Welcome. Benedict?
3 out of 4 millennials would prefer to use a self-service tool to answer their question than having to call someone else to help them. And that includes me, because let's face it, the way customer support works is that you have to call someone, you have to explain your question, and while they're looking for the answer, you're being put on hold. The reason you have to wait is because the way they're looking for the answer is the same way you and I would search for it. They do a keyword search, they find a number of documents containing these keywords, and they have to manually skim through these documents in order to find the answer. And the entire time, you're being put on hold. This is the reason why customer support is so time-consuming and costly to enterprises and frustrating to customers. The way Organize solved this problem is by creating an AI model that is capable of ingesting your company FAQs and text documents, and it can be any format in text, so PDF, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and it is then able to use these documents to answer questions. So, for example, if you have a question like, when can I use my money? You can then simply type that question as it is into a search bar or answer bot interface, and it will not only pull up the right document, but it will highlight the spot within that document that answers your question. This is the reason why some of the world's largest companies are already working with us. There are other providers out there that provide similar solutions, but they usually rely heavily on data tagging. Manual data tagging describes the process of tagging your data in order to train your AI model, and is a very time-consuming process. Organize does not use any manual data tagging whatsoever, because we use a method called transfer learning, where we use a pre-trained model that we then fine-tune for each specific client. This means that we're the fastest to market because we can ingest documents as they are. We consistently outperform our competitors in terms of results accuracy. And we have an enterprise-ready dashboard that is aimed at a non-technical audience. And we have existing API integrations for all major CRMs and messaging tools. On average, our customers that use us for internal help desk automation are able to automate over half of all support tickets within the first 4 months. We are a Series A stage company, and we've raised $5 million so far. And we have 20 AI engineers based in Oakland, California, Seoul, and Tokyo. And we offer all our services as SaaS as well as on-premise. If you want to learn more about how you can use cognitive search to automate workflows in your enterprise, please feel free to reach out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benedict. If you want to learn more, well, now is the time to ask him. So I'm coming here towards our fantastic wall to see if we have any questions from our virtual jury. Remember to raise your hand when you want to ask a question so we can see you and we'll fly you to the big screen so you can ask Benedict a question. Are there any questions for him, Alganize, or from the jury, the physical jury here? Yes, Alberto. Alberto Gomez from Adara Ventures. Go ahead, Alberto. We're going to fly you first. You're going to come with us to the big screen so you can speak directly to Benedict. Whenever you're ready, Alberto and Benedict, remember 30 seconds for your answer.
My question is, this is a very difficult, a tough problem that has been attempted for many times. Are you focusing on any particular use case or industry where you can sort of produce better results than existing solutions?
So that is a very good question. Because of the nature of our technology and the way we've pre-trained our model, we're actually working well across industries. And we are able to train it specifically for each client using company internal dictionaries, for example, with their own abbreviations. And that way work for each specific industry. So we're already specialized for insurance, banks, and telecommunications, but we also have clients from manufacturing, electronics, and the automotive industry.
Okay. Are you happy with that, Alberto? Did he answer your question, Benedict? I think Alberto's happy. He's still in shock. We have Susie Mayer from Notion. Susie, come with me. Fly with me to speak to Benedict up close here. Whenever you're ready, Susie.
Thanks a lot. Look, great presentation. I guess the only question I had was, how structured does the data have to be? Can you also work with unstructured data, and to which degree?
Absolutely. And that is the key differentiator between us and other solutions out there. So we work with completely unstructured data. And by unstructured data, I mean any text format, so PDF, Word, Excel. And we go so far, for example, if you have a complex table, so a spreadsheet embedded in a PDF, our technology will understand the logic behind that spreadsheet and will extract information from a table embedded in a larger document as well.
And are you cleaning the data as well?
We don't require any cleaning of the data, so there is no manual data tagging involved. We allow users or companies to use a dictionary if they want to fine-tune it themselves, but because we use transfer learning, we don't rely on data tagging, and that way we're much faster to implement.
Thank you.
Excellent. I'm not sure if there are any more questions. I could see Susie very interested there. Susie was very interested. Well, thank you to our virtual jury and to Alganize. We're going to move on, leaving the United States to go and meet our second startup in Canada. Let me ask you a question. Who knows what is the most streamed song in history? Rhetorical question. But let me give you a clue. Bing, 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 bing. The club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends, na 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 na. Yes? Got it? That's right. I'm in love with the shape of you. Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. And if you thought that was bad, my singing, it could have been much worse. Number 2 is Rockstar by Post Malone. And believe me, you wouldn't want to hear that. So 2.6 billion streams of Shape of You, that's a big, big number. Who's keeping track of this? Our next startup helps labels, distributors, and artists accurately help track of play counts for invoicing and royalty payments. Let's hear more from their co-CEO, Andrew Batty of BeatDub. Andrew.
Hi, I'm Andrew with BeatDub, and we're solving a $4 billion problem for the music industry. The way it works today is that streaming services self-report how many times a song's been played, and labels then invoice based on that reporting. Unfortunately, those reports are often 15% incorrect, and that's led to a $4 billion problem for the music industry. And with 600 streaming services to track globally, play count tracking has become time-consuming, expensive, and near impossible. And streaming services have a problem too. Play count errors have led to dozens of lawsuits from rights holders from around the world. Entertainment One, the largest independent music brand in the world, came to us and asked for help solving this problem. They represent iconic acts like Snoop Dogg, Death Row Records, and the Lumineers. In an industry where nobody trusts each other, blockchain provides a way for stakeholders to participate while still maintaining their data privacy. So we spent 15 months in stealth mode building the underlying protocol capable of tracking 1 million transactions per second per region. That's the equivalent of turning on every streaming service worldwide simultaneously. And since launching our product, we've created a $25 million sales pipeline with some of the world's most iconic music brands. We charge music labels 1% of their streaming royalties in primary markets and 3% of their royalties in emerging markets. And our team has over 20 years of management experience with 15 years specifically in the music industry. At some point in our careers, every major label has been one of our clients. And we built a rockstar advisor board, which includes the former Prime Minister of Canada, Stephen Harper, the former Chief Legal of Universal Music Group, the former CEO of Sony Music Nashville and president of RCA, and Brian Turner, who sold in excess of $1.7 billion in recorded music through the 1990s. This industry will reach $30 billion in streaming royalty payouts alone by 2030, but there's currently a 15% reporting error that's led to a $4 billion problem that BeatDAP exists to solve. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Andrew. That was a rock star team. You saw it. I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm coming here towards our virtual jury to see if they want to sing us a song. I'm not the only one doing here the silly one. Oh, the clown. Do I see any hands up? If you want to ask Andrew, BeatDAP, the rock star team, and talk about music, or maybe we have somebody here from the physical jury. That was a super top presentation, Andrew, by the way. He had an extra 30 seconds. I can see Yolanda Perez from Be a Startup. Yolanda, fly with me. Let's go and meet Andrew. Whenever you're ready.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you for the presentation. Can you explain a little more about the go-to-market strategy, please?
Sure. So we were fortunate in that we already knew most of the large labels, which have global presence. And so we actually spent 2 years in stealth mode building it hand in hand with them along the way before ever coming out or raising money or doing anything. So we were always market oriented that way. So in a lot of ways, it looked like we sort of exploded onto the scene, but it was really a process of 2+ years of moving all the pieces, making sure the product was right for them, and building that enterprise grade, production ready technology. And so our strategy has been first to develop the technology, which was seeming miracle number 1, 2, get all the IP holders together, and then 3, get the streaming services on board, of which we now have 9 in our pipeline, representing 400 million monthly active users.
And time's up, Andrew. Ooh, that was an extra, because you gave us 30 seconds, I gave you another 10. Thank you for that question. Are you happy with that, Yolanda? You can ask again if you want, okay? We have a question from Finn Murphy. Finn, I can see you. Come with me. Come fly with me. Finn, whenever you're ready, Andrew's ready for you. Andrew, you have 30 seconds, my friend. Okay, I can give you an extra 5, but that's it.
Yeah, Andrew, in this relationship between the labels and the actual streaming services, who's the pull and who's the push here? Because obviously you have to balance between the two. Obviously the labels want more money and the streaming services would prefer less accurate reporting. So like how does that power dynamic play out, and how do you fit yourselves between that?
So in short, we maintain neutrality. So we have no strategic investors, or we went all general VC or super angels. That was the first part. We knew that from the beginning. We expected DSP pushback to be harder, but actually what we've heard from most of them is there's more money now to be made over the top of the table than under it, due to legislative changes, due to the wrong payouts, because they're still on the hook for settlements. There's been billions of dollars in lawsuits for this type of error. And so in many cases, we help them reduce audit costs, reduce settlements, and make more accurate payouts. So we're sort of a win-win on both sides.
Excellent. That was perfect. Andrew, time's up. Finn, you're happy with that? Coming back to see you guys. Thank you. Any other questions from our jury, virtual jury? Okay, no more questions. We have to run to our next slot, to our next section. And we're going to have our first conversation of this track, of today, of this morning. And for that, we have the pleasure of having with us virtually Luis Diaz. He's the talent lead at Accenture. So, Luis, welcome to South Summit 2020. Great to have you here. Are you there?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Luis, you are our first conversation of this track on this first day. So no pressure, but everybody's listening.
Okay.
Luis, tell us from your experience, obviously, what are the opportunities in terms of trends shaping the future of work in the next 5 years? Toma ya, I mean, no. What do you think?
Okay, well, as you know, for some time, intelligent technologies have disrupted every major business and functional field, and it was only a matter of time before the rise of big data and the platform economy revolutionized HR and talent management. Accenture recently published a paper called Workforce 2025, where we took a step at quantifying the potential impact of workforce transformation through intelligent technologies. We looked at one particular industry, financial services, and one geography, the US. And we estimated that over the next 5 years, the combined business value of workforce automation and augmentation will be up to 140 billion with a B dollars. So automation, artificial intelligence, collaborative platforms, real-time data capabilities, the Internet of Things. There's a perfect storm brewing in the people space that will unleash a shockwave of transformation, the likes of which we haven't seen before, that will disrupt the way we operate and deliver value, and it will provide a huge competitive advantage for businesses who manage to see that opportunity and make the first move toward that future today. So the first takeaway is that there's a lot of money to be made in workforce transformation, but there's more. The paper I mentioned also disproves some preconceived notions, like the one that most of this value would come from efficiency gains through automation. Automation will definitely play a role in the next wave of workforce transformation, for sure. Case in point, our research shows that up to 10% of tasks in the financial services workforce could be automated by 2025. That's quite a lot, actually, but probably not enough to bring about the bleak dystopic future where machines rise to take over the world, leaving everybody displaced and jobless, and possibly at the mercy of the Terminators, to go on with the analogy that you, Helena, proposed at first. Sci-fi movies. It's quite the contrary, actually. There's another massive force at play here. Our research shows that almost 48% of jobs could be augmented by 2025. And this means that the biggest impact on clients' bottom line will likely be realized through an increase in productivity due to augmentation of our skills, expertise, creativity, by having people take on new roles where they use technology and data to explore new value avenues. And that's where the bigger part of those $140 billion will come from.
Wow. Luis, you've answered all my questions in one. You know, I'm leaving. I mean, I have no point of being here today. Just a final thing. Tell me, if you tell me a bit more about this 2025 paper, is there a quality that you're looking in or what you'd identify in the firms you work with that have a connection to this 2025 paper?
Sure. Some of our more advanced and visionary clients are already working towards this future that I just described. And some of the things that they're doing are common across the most successful companies in talent management. First of all, these companies understand that an augmented future requires a digital savvy workforce, and this calls for adjusting the workforce mix through a healthy combination of reskilling and the infusion of the next generation of professionals in hot areas like cloud, data, experience, etc., who come from diverse backgrounds, which includes the usual suspects, the STEM careers of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but also humanities and the arts, which are increasingly important when it comes to designing meaningful customer and employee experiences, for example. So diversity will be key. Then you have to embed the learning all the time mindset into the job description of every employee in the company and encourage and empower people to act as entrepreneurs of their own skilling and share their knowledge to help others learn. And unless you're a startup, who has this embedded in its DNA, this requires a major cultural transformation. Also, you have to revisit every aspect of talent management to make it fit for purpose, while you infuse data-driven capabilities to make every talent decision as smart as possible. This is the algorithms changing the talent paradigm when it comes to talent acquisition, reskilling, compensation, etc. And finally, you have to adjust the company's operating system, the culture, where leaders have a huge role to play. So talent, learning, culture, leadership, you can never go wrong with the classics. It's a massive transformation, but one that will undoubtedly pay in the end.
My God, Luis, I mean, that was perfect. I mean, this is it. We can all go home. He said it all. Luis, thank you so much for that. You said a lot of interesting things. There's money in automation, and there's all these, the classics. The classics are always there. Next year, promise me you're going to come to La Nave, to Madrid for 2021, because there's much more to talk about with you, about the future of work and many more. And we're lucky we're going to have more people from Accenture coming to this South Summit 2020, so stay tuned. In the meantime, big kiss to you, Luis Diaz. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a date. See you next year.
Date. I have a date, and we just started the day. We're going to leave Luis and Accenture, but the Accenture will be back, and we are going to leave Canada. We left our second startup to go and fly to Italy for our third startup. The democratization of content creation has made us all publisher, which means that if we want to make an impact, sometimes we need to create content that is not just trending, but ahead of the trend. And that's not easy, but our next startup can help leveraging AI and machine learning to crunch the data and identify trends before they happen. This sounds interesting, and they have already analyzed you and seen that you are going to think this is great. So welcome Alessia Banji, CMO of Entire Digital. Buongiorno, Alessia.
Did you know that when someone reads, someone else makes money? And now the word is reading. We are Entire Digital, and we provide dynamic data-driven platform for media outlet and every online business. We want to solve a problem about content creation industry that has stalled for 20 years. We know at the end of the 90s, there was a revolution, but then everything stopped. There was pure technological innovation, pure attention to user experience, and too much information online. Otherwise, for the companies, there are too many and too high costs to produce content. Our solution is based on a completely data-driven approach. We use AI for every phase of content production. About the content discovery, our system suggests to us what kind of content the user wants to read or share or watch. For the production, we use an hybrid model, a crowdsourcing platform for 10,000 content creators from all over the world, and a natural language generation system for every category of text. For the quality check, we use a natural language processing system, and we do content recommendation. This is how we do it. About the language generation, the first step is the news gathering. We collect data online, we understand the meaning, and we generate text. About the processing, our system approves content according to syntactics or semantics rules. So, Entire Digital has two lines of business powered by the same technology, media outlet and data-driven content in SaaS. About the media outlet, they are the proof of concept of our technology, and it's working because millions of people search our successful content production. About the technology in SaaS, we understand a simple thing, that many large companies are essentially publishers, so they have editorial needs. The revenue model about media and SaaS. About media, we are free or subscription for users. About technology in SaaS, we have different kinds of services according to every need. Some of our clients, e-commerce, advertising, SaaS, and the market size. 90% of people search news online. This is an expanding market because everyone needs internet to discover trends or discover news. Our traction, where we are. We produce 1,000 content per day. Only few people manage this technological process. We are everywhere. We are going to open 8 countries, and we are always profitable. We won the IBM Startup Program and the EJET program. About the team, the CEO and founder Massimiliano Squillace. He did 4 exits, one of them about digital publishing, nano publishing, sold to Excite Populis. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Alessia Vangi from Entire Digital. I'm going to come here back to the wall. The wall, I love it, the digital wall, to see our virtual jury and see hands up for any questions for Alessia. Okay, nevertheless, ¡ay! Alberto, ¡uy! Alberto, by the hairs, as we say in Spanish, por los pelos. Alberto, I saw your hand, so come with me, Alberto, come. Let's ask Alessia one of your tough questions.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. It's a very ambitious vision, and forgive me for being somewhat skeptical, but even sort of computer-created music, has really failed to capture, really the audience's sort of attention, and you believe you can create you're intended to create news reports, entertainment. What kind of content and what are you comparing yourself against?
Okay, thank you for your question. About our content, we want to do a simple thing. We want that our content can be tailored for the target. In this way, our system is able to suggest the trend, because our system is made to understand, to suggest to us the right content. So the trend is the best thing to help our targets, and this way, using technology and media outlet, in this way we can reach a lot of people. So we have a lot of media outlet in each country, and the challenge is using the similar technological product to each country. So using technology and media.
You ran out of time, but I didn't want to cut you through that answer. Thank you, Alessia. Our jury can be skeptical. That's why we invited you here for, and it's your job. Thank you for that question, Alberto. We have the best of the best, not only startups, but jury as well. Any last questions? No, there's no time. There's no time. So we're going to fly from Italy and leave Alessia, thank you, Entire Digital, to fly and come to Spain to meet our next startup, number 4. Let's talk about a $10 billion market, shall we? Sounds interesting. $10 billion with B, dollar market. Every second, a professional photo shoot takes place in the world to capture amazing photos of products or services so that brands can engage with their customers better. Our next startup solves the pain businesses are currently facing when booking a photographer to create professional photos in 24 hours anywhere in the world. Let's hear more from Isabel Gonzalez, founder of Cloud9. Hello, Isabel.
Hi, I'm Isabel from Cloud9. We deliver world-class photo shoots in 24 hours. With the explosion of e-commerce, digital marketing, and social media, brands cannot use stock photos, so they need to customize their photo shoots to promote their products and services, because 75% of their online shoppers make a purchase based on photos. The problem that we are solving, this is Jane, marketing manager of a global brand. She needs to find photographers across 6 different countries to shoot their products within 24 hours. She has no time to search and compare photographers across multiple cities and countries. The production houses or ad agencies can do it, but they tend to be very expensive, up to 3 times more, and they take 1 to 2 months to turn around time. So she is really desperate. The solution is Cloud9, an AI-driven online platform that matches photographers with brands within seconds to shoot worldwide class photos in 24 hours at 60% of production costs. We use AI machine learning to solve these problems. How does it work? Go to Cloud9, you book a photo shoot, we match the photographers with the AI and machine learning in the back end. The client selects the photos and downloads them. So eliminating all the Dropbox, WeTransfer, and Google Sheet manual processes. Cloud9 takes 30% commission of each transaction, which translates by 2024 into $124 million. The potential market is massive. Every single business needs a photo shoot to promote their products or services online, worldwide. Competitive advantage is obviously with Cloud9 and in automation and the scalability, because we offer a global service. Our team, we're a team of 5 people. Myself, I've launched cheaptickets.sg, an online travel agency, and Skidoo and GoBear, making it profitable within 3 years. Raj has over 20 years of experience managing $20 million projects, and Edu launched 2 startups in the past and leading up a technological company. The traction has been fantastic, $1.2 million in sales. We've worked with over 150 companies across 15 countries, and we'll work with global brands from Nivea to Visa and so on. Growth month on month despite COVID, which is a fantastic news. Our repeat business is very high, it's 91% at a 0 CPA. And there's a massive market that we see in the future as well, also going to other verticals and future segments. We're looking for an investment. We're closing a seed round. We have a lead investor on board, which is SOSV, with over $700 million fund. And we are looking for investors right now. So please join us to become, the leading platform for on-demand branded photos.
Wow.
Thank you.
Perfect, Isabel. That was fantastic. Cloud9, a massive market, a massive potential market, a $10 billion market. It seems they have everything they need, except maybe winning South Summit 2020. So we have, I believe, Carlos Ravano has a question for Isabel. Carlos, come with me. And you can ask your question to Isabel, and remind you, Isabel, 30 seconds for your answer. Carlos, not too difficult, the question.
Hello, Isabel. Could you explain a little more deeply the sources of incomes or the revenue streams?
Yes, the revenue streams, we charge 30% margins to the clients at the moment. And the next revenue stream would be then coming through photographers as well, because we provide them with jobs that they would normally have no access to. So it will be, so 2 revenue streams in total.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
I think Carlos was very impressed with that, weren't you, Carlos? Satisfied? Yeah. I think Isabel has answers for almost every question. She's very, very confident. I think Borja has raised his hand. Borja, so come with me. Let's go and ask Isabel your question. Whenever you're ready, Borja.
Hi, Isabel. I wanted to ask about the data points you're taking into account in order to do the matching. So where are you getting the data, and what kind of algorithm you are running in order to match a photographer with a client? Thank you.
The first step is we scrape the internet. And that is from Google over to websites or any social media available. And then we import that data into our platform using image and tag recognition of the portfolios of the photographers that we find. And what we do is we onboard them, we create automatically a portfolio for them and reach out through an automated email to the photographers offering a project anywhere in the world within seconds.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Isabel Gomez from Cloud9. We have no more time for any more questions, and thank you to our virtual jury for all those questions. It was extremely interesting, and Isabel seemed very confident. So, could we have a winner there? Anybody could be. We have to keep going before we meet our next startup, the following startup. We're going to jump to our second conversation of today's track, Future of Work, on our first day at South Summit 2020. Today we're seeing many new technologies empowering the future of work and this transition to remote and hybrid models. But if we take a step back, the cloud is the underlying infrastructure that powers all this innovation. To dive a little deeper into this area, allow me to invite to the stage Jose Maria Cuellar. He's the Global Cloud Product Director at Telefonica. Jose Maria, there he is. Jose Maria, lovely to see you. Here.
Hi.
You're my guest. You sit in the center. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
Lovely to have Telefonica with us. How are you today?
I'm really fine.
Okay, first day at South Summit. This is so exciting.
Very.
We're going to talk about the cloud, Jose Maria. So tell me, how is the current situation with all companies all over the world scrambling to function remotely, in a way accelerated the transition to cloud and the adoption of new services, of cloud services?
Okay, first, thank you for having me here today. I really like a quote by Satya Nadella regarding the impact of COVID in cloud adoption. And he said, we have in 2 months what we have had in 2 years. So this is a fantastic acceleration.
This is excellent news for you.
Of the cloud. Yeah, for me, and also for the whole ecosystem that is around the cloud business, not just my company, but also our strategic partners and all the startups that are around the cloud business.
Of course. Tell us more then about what have you envisioned for the next, what are the next steps? Is this no turning back? Is this just a COVID period and see, but we're never going to go back to what we had? This is what is the next steps? What do you have? Tell us what you have planned for 2021.
Okay, usually a company is adopting the cloud for main 2 reasons, right? First one is cost reduction or cost transformation, CapEx into OpEx, as you know. And the second one is, I would say, business acceleration, mainly because your innovation activities are boosted with the cloud. I would say that after the pandemic, we have a third reason to migrate to the cloud or to adopt the cloud. And this third reason is business continuity. So there are many companies that are now aware that in order to keep your business running, your employees working, your customers and your suppliers connected, etc., you need a new way of work based on cloud technologies.
And obviously, security, cybersecurity is always is not need to mention that Telefonica has that in mind. I know Telefonica has a very focused division, 11 paths and all
11 paths.
Cybersecurity. Yeah. We send a kiss to Chema Alonso, who doesn't know Chema Alonso, in Spain and in the world. So it's something that obviously there's no need even to talk about cybersecurity. It goes hand in hand.
Of course, we have a cloud unit. That's what I work for. And this cloud unit is working every day with our cybersecurity unit.
I just wanted to make sure that the cloud is secure, obviously, and that there's more coming, and maybe you will keep us tuned of what Telefonica has in mind in this sense. So we hope to see you very soon around South Summit.
Okay.
Thank you so much to Jose Maria Cuellar and obviously to Telefonica for being always a partner and being with South Summit throughout the years and being here today. Jose Maria, I'm going to ask you to accompany me and leave the stage, leave the set, and stay with us a little bit because we're going to go into a next conversation, a third conversation of this morning on our first day with with a good friend. But before I introduce them, let me tell you, for our next conversation, we have invited this man who discovered the world of tech. I read the world of tech startups when his father opened a rag store which had venture capitalists as customers. He will have to tell us if this is true, which I think it is. From there, making a long story short, he went on to becoming a serial entrepreneur and a seasoned executive helping, funding, and supporting entrepreneurs through, amidst that, his investment company, and through Plug and Play, a venture fund, innovation platform, a startup accelerator, and corporate innovation consultancy, which has been home to hundreds of tech startups and has been a pioneer in this ecosystem. His passion is inspiring and helping entrepreneurs and startups out of universities. His objective, to identify great entrepreneurs with a passion to execute on their ideas. Well, we're going to find more from him. So welcome to South Summit, Saeed Hamidi. Saeed, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you
Hi,
very well.
everybody.
Hello, welcome to South
It's
Summit.
good to be with you in South Summit.
Well, you are crucial figure in the ecosystem worldwide. We're so happy to have you here. We're having a lot of people from Plug and Play Tech Center in the jury and without these 3 days. But tell us a bit more about Plug. We all know, but still, just in case, tell us a bit more about Plug and Play and how it started. As I was saying, you were the pioneers.
Good. You know, about 2006, I started Plug and Play here in California, in the heart of Silicon Valley. And originally, we had the co-working space, a very large space for about 400 startups. And then when I saw the startups, they needed money, needed connections to corporate partners. We created different verticals, banking vertical, insurance vertical, health vertical. And every year we choose the best startups in the world specifically for some transformation of the banking industry or insurance industry, and we connect them with the largest bank like Caixa in Spain with their product Imagine. We feel when big corporations work with startup, they can innovate faster, better, and cheaper.
Good. Actually, we've a lot of people that have come after Plug and Play, we've copied or we followed your example, where you've divided in verticals and what you were saying. But this obviously is an international company. How do you manage, Said, the coordination and collaboration of all your employees all over the world? This must be a challenge.
Yes, we have, office in Barcelona, Madrid, Frankfurt, Paris, and before this pandemic, I used to travel 2 weeks every month. I feel like majority of the people we have in each location, they were trained in California, and then they run the office, for example, in Munich. But we try to combine the culture of Silicon Valley and California with the local culture and build the ecosystem with the startups, corporations, investors, universities. And each office specializes in some specific industry. And again, this has been difficult in the past 6 months, but as the world is moving digital, we have to also move digital as well.
Yes, we do. Just as a final question, and as we are on the future of work track, from your experience, how are corporates handling the new challenges of home office, and how does Plug and Play help these corporates connect with digital work tools?
Yes, initially when this happened, everyone was in like a shock for 2 weeks to 3 weeks. But with the different digital tools like Remo or Zoom, we were able to connect startups with corporations. For example, we had a very big expo in Stuttgart a few days ago, where we featured 20 pilots between startups and corporations, and we had over 3,000 people in the audience. Again, I think nothing beats personal and connection and meetings, but we had to learn and go 100% digital for our events, for our corporate relationships, and even for our investments. We have been doing approximately 10 investments per month, and nowadays it's hard to meet the entrepreneur. So we have to do it on Zoom and digitally.
Well, as I said, Said, you've been a model for so many of us afterwards. So we like the way you work. Keep up with the good work. Meeting virtually is not that bad. Look at you, I can even hug you from here. You look fantastic. So it's not that bad. We were so lucky to have you because you are in California, I'm in Madrid. Otherwise, it would have been more difficult. So we hope to see you next year at South Summit 2021, whether it's from California or here in Spain. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll see you soon. Saeed Amidi from Plug and Play. Fantastic. We're going to jump into our second section of today's track, which is Workplace. And we're going to go and meet our fifth startup. We're staying in Spain. Remote working was already on an upward trend before COVID, but now, of course, it's become huge. One aspect that needed catching up was the legal and contractual side. Yes, my friends, we're going to have to talk legal. Our next startup claims that they are making a digital and delightful experience to ease the hassles of contract collaboration when remote working. Sounds too good to be true? Well, to prove us wrong, we have with us Pilar Prados, CEO of Bouncel. Welcome, Pilar.
Hi, everyone. This is Pilar, and I used to be a super stressed M&A lawyer. I used to work in São Paulo, and I remember waking up every morning with more than 100 emails to read. Some of them weren't really even addressed to me, but I had to read them anyway so I could lose the comments to the contracts. And I used to draft documents with Microsoft Word, which wasn't a collaborative tool at all, and the whole process was very painful. I spent a lot of time doing paperwork, and it just wasn't productive. So I talked to my co-founder, Marcos, who is a software engineer, serial entrepreneur, and I explained to him the way companies were managing contracts. And he was like, really, Pilar? Wow, if that's the way companies manage contracts right now, then we do have a business opportunity here. Why don't we just make contracts more connected, more intelligent, and more human? Bouncel is a tool that you have always wanted to use, an all-in-one collaboration platform powered by AI and big data. We transform the contract management process into a digital and delightful experience. We offer companies a collaborative workspace to ease remote work. With Bouncel, you can create, draft, negotiate, review, get approval, sign digitally, track contracts, do everything from a beautiful platform in the cloud. We boost productivity with on-demand workflow automation, and we empower teams with data to make smarter decisions. We definitely want to change the huge and outdated legal industry, which happens to move billions of euros. And this is the perfect timing, because the contract management tools market is rapidly growing because of COVID-19 crisis. Obviously, we have competition since we are solving a real problem, but they are mainly focused on English-speaking countries, and to the best of my knowledge, they are not really applying AI to contracts or are not a truly all-in-one solution. That's why we definitely want to conquer the South and get the most of our contract management platform, and that's why we're currently exploring natural language processing applied to contracts to extract keywords and detect anomalies and trends. We have a pure B2B business model. We offer different subscription plans to companies, the standard for small companies that want to manage contracts remotely, the premium for medium companies that want to boost productivity, and the enterprise, my favorite, for the large companies that want to get the full contract superpowers experience. And we aren't alone. We are coordinating a team of more than 15 people with an extremely efficient use of capital, and we are proudly supported by top-class stakeholders. This is a very exciting moment for us. We have just launched our beta. We are Bouncel. We make your team have superpowers. Welcome to the future of work. Thank you.
Wow, I love that end of that finish line, Pilar. Making superpower. I want superpowers. We have superpowers here. We have a super jury. Do we have questions? Yes, we do. From Yolanda Perez from Be a Startup. Yolanda, yes, come with me to the big screen to ask Pilar your question.
Yes. Hi, Pilar. Congrats for your project. I would like to know a little more about what sets Bouncel apart from other contract legal tech tools. Which is your long-term value or your long-term competitive advantage?
Okay. Well, thank you, Yolanda, for the question. Well, first of all, and this is my personal opinion, there are a lot of legal tech startups, but a lot of them are more focused on the legal part and they forget about the tech side. So we are really in a truly tech solution, and we offer an all-in-one solution. And this is, from my point of view, definitely the main differentiation. There are a lot of tech providers that offer, like, for example, the possibility to sign digitally, the possibility to start drafting, the possibility to even get approvals or do follow-ups, but none in all-in-one.
Thank you. Actually, I'm not surprised that Yolanda from Be a Startup is asking Pilar about, asking questions, because I know Be a Startup has a lot of interest and a lot of investment in legal tech. So tell us why and how do you see the sector evolving, Yolanda?
Yes, Elena, in fact, some of our first investments 7 years ago were into current successful legal tech companies, Redpoint and Signaturid. They both tackle two very clear needs: brand protection and trust services for digital communications. But there's also room for a lot of solutions on things like legal research, contract reviews, or preparing documents, as Pilar has explained it. I think technology can really help legal and compliance leaders to manage risk and to improve efficiency. But besides legal tech, at Banco Sabadell, as investors, we do like B2B in general, software. We like SaaS. In fact, of our 53 companies in the Be a Startup current portfolio, almost 70% are B2B. Maybe because we are a bank that very, very focused on businesses, but also, of course, because there is a clear opportunity to drive forward a production model that uses innovation in order to become more efficient. We have invested in several specific solutions designed to give, as Pilar was saying, superpowers to other industries or key departments of the companies, such as financial departments, human resources, etc. It is clear regarding the future of work that the coronavirus crisis has also brought with it several opportunities, such as the acceleration of companies' digitalization or the increasing number of employees working from home. However, working from home can also have serious implications, for instance, when it comes to security. And actually, one of our most recent investments targets the employee cyber risk management. As you know, in Spain, the top recipients of investments during the first half of the year have been in business and productivity software, followed, of course, by the two sectors that actually have turned out to be winners in the new COVID world, e-commerce and health. And ourselves since March closed 7 deals, 4 in B2B SaaS and 3 in healthcare, of course. Another vertical that we are very interested in. And we are now in the process of closing a further 4 deals in the same 2 sectors. So in general, we really believe that we are witnessing the birth of a new era of real artificial intelligence, real big data application, machine learning, etc. It is time now to bring deep tech to help people and organizations. And well, in this competition today, we have brilliant examples to do so.
Thank you, Yolanda. Sorry I was interrupting you, but I wanted to ask if there are any questions in the jury. Actually, I remember Signaturid when they started. I had a startup at the time. Imagine they were successful, and here I am. We have another question from, sorry, I saw, Andy Areitio. Andy from the Venture City. Come with me, Andy. I didn't know you were there. Come and send your question to Pilar whenever you're ready, Andy.
Hi, Pilar. Congratulations on your venture. My question is about a competitor you mentioned on your pitch, Euro. So a company I'm familiar with that raised a strong Series A round almost 2 years ago, and that has a very similar approach from the tech perspective, from the product perspective. So what would be your differentiation point versus that company? Is the geographical approach, or is there any other difference between your company and Europe? Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Andy. Well, first of all, it's true that we share the passion and the love and the detail-oriented approach, because both solutions are really intuitive and beautiful, and that's a fact. But something that is really interesting, or that catches my attention, is that, for example, I don't know if Euro's plan is to really apply AI techniques to contracts, because they were born before us, right? And for example, from us, it has been always the goal. We have defined and we have designed this contract collaboration platform, which is our product, the SaaS. But the SaaS, our platform, is the channel to get to my vision, which is to extract keywords, detect anomalies, and predict the content.
Sorry, Pilar. Yep. I have to interrupt you there, Pilar, because we run out of time. You have 30 seconds, remember, entrepreneurs, to answer the question. I know sometimes it's difficult. These investors want to know everything, and they make 2 or 3 questions in one. But there you go. I have to leave you there, guys. Pilar, well done. Bouncel, Pilar Prados, thank you from Spain. And we're going to leave our startups to jump into our next conversation. Freelancers are more optimistic than pessimistic about the looming economic crisis. According to a study by Malt and the Boston Consulting Group, 74% of them trust in their freelance model. Vincent Huguet, CEO and founder of Malt, has said that although independent workers have suffered a slowdown, we can see that they have started to resume their projects fueled by a demand by businesses undergoing a digital transformation. Malt connects a community of freelancers with businesses in France, Spain, and Germany. The rest of the world, beware, is coming soon. So, to talk about that, we have invited the CEO of Malt. Let's welcome Vincent Huguet. Hello, bonjour, Vincent. How are you?
Hola, Elena.
Ça va?
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, very well, loud and clear. Lovely to have you here, Vincent.
Cool.
We have to know your vision of this accelerator future of work. Tell us, Vincent.
Well, I think, people are talking, and you're talking about future of work, and we like at MAT to talk more now of the new work order, talking about the present. And I think the key word that we see is choice. I think that in the past, we have seen people like being able to choose who is their employer, not having a long life career in the same employer. Then we have people choosing careers, like switching from one career to the other. Then we saw a few years ago people choosing a status of freelancer, autonomo in Spain, for instance, or employee. And now what we see and what we have seen in the past months is people like being able to choose where they work from. Or better said, like during COVID, during the lockdown, we had to be remote working. But I think now we're going to be in the coming months and in coming years, and people like, for instance, Google was talking about that yesterday, going to more hybrid model where we are sometimes working from home, sometimes working in the office, because I think it's also very important. So I see a world of work which is much more hybrid than a world of choice in the end.
Okay, so it's not future of work, it's the new work, how do you call it? The
new work order.
New work order. And the key word is choice. But despite that, okay, hybrid, yes, but do you think, or what a percentage, because you've done this study with Boston Consulting Group,
yes.
What percentage of companies do you think are trying to focus more on an alternative workforce, the freelance, like freelancers? Is there a percentage,
yes,
or is there, yeah?
It's difficult to say precisely, but what we have seen in our figures and in this survey that we made with the Boston Consulting Group is that freelancers are being impacted at the beginning of the lockdown, in March, in April, in May. But since June, we have seen, and in particular in SMBs, in startups, like things boosting again very fast. What we think is that, now in Europe, 25% of the IT tech workers are freelancers. So companies, what they've seen in this period is that they were able actually to move to this new order, to this new way of working, also thanks to freelancers. And we have seen that a lot of freelancers have helped big companies like Telefonica, Santander, BBVA, to move to this new logic of being able to work remotely, work in a different way, more agile and things. So I think that more and more companies are thinking themselves as hub, and not a big office where everybody is all the time and everybody is employee, but having, multiple locations. And going back to this idea of choice, I think that, yes, people will want to be able, like as a project manager, to sometimes work with employees inside the company, and sometimes they will have to look for an expert, and these experts are more and more freelancers. So in the future, and more with companies that are also freezing their hires for the moment, we expect, and we already see in September, a big spike of the number of freelancers contracted.
Well, excellent. So this is a win-win situation for everybody. This new work order, we all win, and there's choice for everybody. So thank you for coming, Vincent. So. It was lovely seeing you, but we'll stay tuned because I'm sure you have a lot of fresh things to tell us very soon on the new work order. Thank you to Vincent Huguet. Au revoir. We hope to see you very soon in Madrid. In the meantime, we leave Vincent Huguet, and we are going to jump and stay. We're going to fly to the United States to meet our startup number 6. Web conferencing platforms have boomed recently. We have lots of choice, but what if you want to hold a meeting in multiple languages? Want to risk automating this? Pepsi once made a mistake and found that its famous slogan, "Come alive with Pepsi," was turned into "Pepsi brings your ancestors back from the dead." The solution is to use real human interpreters combined with cutting-edge AI and our next startup services. Here to tell us how, and in English, I hope, is Fardad Sabetian, CEO of Kudo. Hello, Fardad.
Hi, Fardad Zabetian here, founder and CEO of Kudo. Kudo is my third company. Prior to Kudo, I started 2 other companies. Both of them focus on providing hardware solutions for language interpretation for multilingual meetings, in-room, in-person meetings. In 2016, I asked myself, what's next? Because, for example, this room is one of the projects that I completed with my previous companies, which is the United Nations General Assembly. So I asked myself, what's next? I see the need for decentralized and online meetings when they needed language support. So I team up with the experts to work on a proof of concept for providing a platform, web conferencing platform with live language translation. So Kudo's mission is to remove language barrier for businesses. We spent about 2 years of developing the platform, building the community of 8,000 interpreters and partners that we can have studios throughout the globe with different time zones. Web conferencing is already a very hot category, and multilingual web conferencing is a new subcategory that Kudo created and is leading in that area. We have generated revenue in our first year being live. We also on track to have $6 million ARR in 2020. We are already on track to be profitable this year, and how we make money is by selling subscription based on number of hours the client is using our platform. We do have competitions. However, most of them are focused on live event, where our focus is in meetings, web conferencing, and online event that they need language interpretation. We do have domain expertise and build a product as a software, as a self-service solution. We have a number of high-profile clients, and as you see, they are very diverse, from Fortune 1000 to organizations, associations, as well as executive education market. Here's one of our clients, Facebook and AWS. As you see, Facebook is using our product to provide live language interpretation for Keynote, delivering 15 language interpretation for the Mark Zuckerberg keynote speech, as well as 8 other sessions.
For the last 15 years or so, we've focused on building Facebook and Instagram into the digital
des équivalents numériques pour Facebook et Instagram de ces places publiques.
We recently closed our 6 million seed round that are spending in hiring, growth, and product. We have a global team, 50 people working out of 12 countries, and we overall speak 20 different languages. Thank you so much.
Wow, Fardad, that was very impressive, seeing Mark Zuckerberg talking in such a perfect French. Actually, we should be using Kudo to translate. You know, I could speak in Spanish and have all this lovely, American accent or Oxford accent. Now I see a hand on the other side of the set from our physical jury. So, it's lovely, Paloma, you raised your hand. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. Yes.
Congratulations, Farzad, for the startup and for the idea. I think it's incredible. I'm sure that when you launched 2 years ago, you cannot imagine a pandemic bringing your product even more attractive than ever. My question is regarding the mix of AI and machine learning service and the physical, with the translators, the live translators. What's the mix of your business from one service and the other?
Great question. Thank you so much. So the AI assist is only for prepping the interpreters prior to the meeting, and also enabling them to deliver more accurate interpreting during the meeting. The delivery of interpreting is done by human interpreters. So prepping them, as there are very specific terminologies prior to the meeting, so the prep time becomes shorter and the accuracy goes higher.
Cool. You happy?
But the delivery is by human interpreter.
Okay, perfect. Thank
you.
Yep.
Oh, sounds really cool. Now that we are here, any more questions? Kiko? Kiko from Decathlon, go ahead. Your question to Farhad.
First of all, congratulations. I think you're focused on a real problem today that is being accelerated by the situation we live in 2020. My question is regarding the scalability. So you just explained that the human part of the translators plays a key role for you. So that means more meetings, more customers, you will need more translators, or this, how are you thinking about scaling this? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. We went from 200-minute usage to 30 million minute usage in the month of March within 3 weeks. We went from a community of 2,000 interpreters, today about 8,000 interpreters. So we are scaling very quickly on both sides, on both demand as well as a community of interpreters. And really this defines what's really needed for the future of work and building communities, being able to do town hall meetings with your teams, partners in different languages.
Thank you. Kiko, now that we're here, let me ask you, because I've been thinking about Decathlon all these past months, thinking with the COVID pandemic and the workplace scenario changing forever. We're working from home, from the office and home, with the family. What about the fitness world? How are the trends? How has it changed in your sector? And have you seen the figures going up? Because I'm telling you, half of the sales, are at home. So what happened in Decathlon? Tell us.
Thank you, Elena. In fact, you're right. We've seen a huge increase of sport practice, different sports than before, but overall a huge increase. I think that's mainly for two different reasons. The first one is the benefits of sport. We all are aware of the benefits for your physical health, but now mental health is really important in this tough period, and sports play a key role over there. And the second one, you were talking about the integration of your business life, your family, etc. And that is creating a trend that is a bit of a revolution, is regarding the where and when you practice sport. Before, you practice sport on the same place and based on a schedule. You go to a place you have to go to, and based on a schedule. Today, you have 5 minutes free on your schedule, and you can do sport in a corner on your living room with a little sport material you have at home. And this is quite a revolution, and allows people to practice more frequently and connect with other people, because the other trend we see is connected sport. No, even if you are alone practicing a sport, you are not really alone, because you can be connected with your community through video lessons, through tracking apps, through coaching apps, as our Decathlon coach, or even with IoT, with connected objects. We see a big trend, for example, in bicycle rollers, and these apps that connect with the rest of the rollers and of the riders on your city or everywhere else in the world. So and even if you are alone at home, you have the component of social, and you have the component of competition that everybody loves in sports.
So we have no excuse to stay healthy, especially you guys that work at Decathlon.
Yeah.
No pressure. Thank you so much, Kiko Leon from Decathlon. We have to continue. I believe there's no more questions for our last startup. Yes, no more questions. Okay. Well, thank you so much to Farhad from Kudo. Sorry, that was fantastic. We really enjoyed that. We're going to jump on to our next conversation. We have invited Professor Dr. Nick Van Damme. He is, he has a lot of titles, Professor. You're gonna forgive me, I just cut it to IE University Board Member and Chief Learning Officer and Chief IE Center for Learning Innovation, but his curriculum is very impressive. I recommend you going on to internet and researching on him. But anyway, we're so happy to have the IE University represented here and today with you, Professor, going hand in hand with South Summit all the way, all these years. So welcome to your house, welcome home, Professor. Professor Van Damme, you're here.
Thank you, yeah.
Hello.
I'm delighted to join the conference again.
You couldn't miss it. You are fundamental, paramount in here in South Summit. Professor, from your experience and all your knowledge, where are the insights you can share with us that you see about, do you think are relevant for the future of work?
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, you know, and I've been listening to some of the speakers and, you know, we are experiencing the greatest workplace transformation of our lifetime. You know, how we work, how we collaborate, and how we learn will change forever. And I've been in touch with a number of organizations, and you know, what's interesting and fascinating is that you know, the acceleration of digitization is going at an amazing pace. A lot of organizations also acting on the role of humans in their business processes, and they also realize that you know what, humans can be a risk factor, and therefore even more organizations will take a look and are looking currently at, you know, automation, robotization, digitization of all kinds of, you know, work processes. Now, this will have a huge impact on work. A recent report from McKinsey, and I've been part of McKinsey as a partner, and I'm now an external advisor. A recent report shows that in Europe, 1/3 of jobs, so 73 million jobs, are potentially at risk over the next decade. Now, this sounds daunting, and you know, I think also there's some good news too. What we have seen in the past is that you know, a lot of technology and innovation will also create a lot of new jobs, but obviously that requires people to, you know, upskill and reskill. So when I think about the next 5 to 10 years, you know, this is the decade of reskilling and upskilling. If you reflect on Europe again, 94 million people have to acquire new skills. 94 million people. And close to 21 million people in Europe have to change because of declining occupations. So huge, you know, change in the workforce. People need to develop new skill sets. And I always make a difference between, you know, I call them the power skills or the soft skills. And the power skills are the skills that are developed over our lifetime and are harder to develop, like ideation, like creativity, like problem solving. And then, of course, you have the hard skills. And the hard skills you can develop quicker, typically 1 or 2 years in IT, in finance, in different areas. But a huge need for upskill and reskilling. My last comment on this is, you know, on learning, right? So we've seen a transition overnight towards, you know, online learning, blended learning, and the online learning market is expected to be close to $325 billion globally in 5 years from now. And if you reflect on this, this market was just $100 billion in 2015. So huge potential for digital learning, blended learning, and also for innovation in pedagogy. And that's also what we do a lot at IE in innovating our programs. We have launched a liquid learning model. So very exciting in terms of, you know, all the innovations that are put in place.
Yes, I was going to actually mention the liquid learning, which was a concept that at the beginning a lot of people didn't understand, but liquid because it adapts to anything that the student needs, right? Just on a final note, Professor, then is it the challenges and opportunities, or if you could give us a tip to this navigating the return to the workplace, is it a combination of these power skills and hard skill, or is it more onto focusing on those power skills you just mentioned?
Yeah, no, I think it's the combination, right? So I believe that The old career model was the T, and the vertical part was, you develop technical expertise in your early 20s, and then over your lifetime, you learn your power skills. The future is, to me, about the M, where basically at different moments in our careers, we need to go deep in a different discipline, and we continue advance our power skills.
Excellent, Professor. You've said it all. I mean, we have to keep learning, keep trying, keep fighting. Thank you so much, Professor Nick Van Damme from IE University, for coming and be with us today. We'll see you very soon. Of course, IE University always hand in hand with South Summit. We're going to leave the IE University all over the world, but in Spain now. And remember, we left our last startup, Kudo, in the United States. We're going to meet our 7th startup, and we're going from the United States to Hong Kong. Hiring can be a tedious business, and one of the reasons why is all the communications with candidates. It would be great to be able to automate a lot of these messages and using popular communication channels like WhatsApp, but do this without sounding like you're automating it, not sounding like a robot. You see what I mean? Well, our next startup can do it, and they're going to tell us how. We have with us Max Ambrester, the CEO of TalkPush. Mark, welcome.
Hello, everybody. My name is Max Ambrester. I'm the founder and CEO of TalkPush. And I'm going to introduce you to TalkPush as a company that is going to solve the problem of high volume recruitment. And what better problem to solve in 2020 than high volume recruitment, as we have millions of people who are looking to come back to work and companies who are looking to get back to normal. We have built in TalkPush a platform which helps to address the candidate as a consumer, which looks at the candidate as a new type of consumer that has changed with the modern days. A consumer which knows how to spends most of his time on social media, communicates through messaging and asynchronous, likes to browse 100 things at a time, and likes to move very fast. And this is not the same kind of consumer that we had 20 years ago online. It is not somebody who spends time filling in long applications or goes back and forth on email, or whoever even comes to a store. In recruitment, all of those evolutions have also happened. We have now with TalkPush a system which talks to candidates on the platform that they like, on messaging, communicates to them instantly, and allows for all that communication to happen digitally away from the actual physical office. Many brands are working with us to accompany this transformation and to treat candidates like consumers and to give them a chance to interact with them in a more friendly, more engaging way. As you can see, these are our customers. They're all big brands who hire thousands of people every year, and they use the software that I'm showing you on screen to engage with them and to engage. I think in 2020, we have 6 million candidates who have engaged with TalkPush, which is growing at a 300% year-on-year rate. So I expect we'll hit 10 million quite soon and 20 million shortly after that. Most of these engagements happen through a conversational interface. So it can be WhatsApp, Messenger, SMS. You get the picture. They can be multimedia. They allow for automation, and that's our business model. Is we show companies how we can save them a lot of time by doing automated decision making and automated video calls. And basically for the recruiter, it's a wonderful experience where you set it up and then it runs on its own. And we've got a bunch of scenarios that are supported. So what am I looking for with this presentation? Well, I'm always looking for high volume companies, high volume recruitment companies who are hiring thousands of people and want to deliver a good experience. I'm looking to partner with marketing companies as well as recruitment software companies to integrate with, and always looking to investors to accelerate our growth. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Max from TalkPush. He was asking us, why are we treating candidates the old way? What a couple of good quotes he had on that presentation. So I'm coming here to see our fantastic virtual wall of a lot of jury members here. I can see a hand. Do I see a hand there? Just confirm. Yes? Yes. Ricardo. Yes. Come, Ricardo. Come with me. And you can ask your question whenever you're ready to Max. Max, remember 30 seconds to answer.
Hello, Max. Thanks for the presentation. So who are your main competitors, if you have any, and how do you differentiate from them?
Yeah, thanks, Ricardo. So as a tech company, usually you compete with US capital. And so there are a lot of US companies that have invested in this space. We compete with them by being a more global company. We're present in 10 countries, physically present. And so we speak the language. We speak French and Spanish, and we speak the messaging language. We speak the language of the candidate. The other competitor is status quo, and that takes a little longer.
Good, thank you. Are you happy with that, Ricardo? Yes?
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'll be back with you, virtual jury, if you have time, if we have time, because I see there's a question from Paloma. So, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Yes, congratulations, Max. I think that it's a great product. I think it solves several pain points from the candidates, but also from large corporations. The question I have for you is, on the filtering of the candidates, do you also offer that as part of the product? Do you do the filter? And if so, how do you solve for potential hidden biases that you could have in the algorithm?
We made a choice, first of all, not to become the assessment engine and to integrate with third-party assessment. Every company has its own DNA, its own culture, and there are almost as many assessment platforms as there are companies. We have a few companies that we like to partner with to facilitate scoring and ranking. But then after that, it's off our hands. We let our users, the employers, decide what magic formula works for them, and hopefully they can eliminate bias within their own walls.
Happy with that, Paloma? Paloma Tejada from BBVA. Okay, we have no more questions for Max. Thank you so much, Max, and all our jury, because we have to go on to our next conversation. I want you to visualize the following scenario. On a Thursday in April 2020, a man with over 20 years experience in the telecom sector decided to quit his job and take a well-deserved 6-month break. But he receives a phone call with a challenge to lead the global marketing strategy at WeWork after the failure of the company's going public. The following Monday, he was already working there because, as he said, he had detected a real opportunity to change the company's path. He is specialized in solving complicated situations, so no wonder he has been named one of the most influential CMOs in the world. Well, to talk about the future of the workplace, he's joining us virtually from the US, from New York. Let's welcome Roger Solé. Roger, there you are. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Great to be here. Thanks for the introduction.
Lovely to see you from a WeWork office in New York, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. We are, most of us are already back to work, taking a lot of care of health and safety measures, and but working in a collaborative environment. So.
Excellent. Well, we couldn't invite you to a better track than the future of work. And I would like you to tell us, how has the pandemic affected WeWork and how did you adapt?
Yes. So the pandemic created the perception that eventually work from home was going to be like a constant, and even put some question marks about our product and our future, right? But the fact is that what we're seeing is that it is going in our favor in terms of making people understand that the future of work needs to be flexible, right? It's not going to be really working from home, everybody, all the time. And there are ways to develop value propositions in workforce management that will be adapted to a new environment, a new normal, where work from home is going to be part of the matrix of the solutions, but where people are going to want to work from home a few days a week, and then some other days a week they're going to want to collaborate, have a closer relationship with their colleagues, be in spaces where they can have some time for themselves, where they can concentrate, where they have their own private space. And we are seeing that this is something that people are already asking for, right? In many surveys, we saw that 90% of people think that they will go to an office at least once or twice a week. That's what they would like to do. So in this scenario, WeWork is actually the best positioned to offer the perfect value proposition. It has always been a flexible platform. And in a world where people are going to work from home a few days a week, in a world where we're going to see distributed workforces, so people basically living in different cities and needing to go to an office that's close to their home, it doesn't require a commute, it doesn't require a flight, it doesn't require to travel. And that's what we are. We are ultimately a network of offices around the world, and many offices in every city where people will be able to go to that productive space and work from there in a different way, right? And also, in terms of flexibility, what real estate decision makers have understood is that the old model of a centralized headquarter, which is very expensive, where you have 30 years leases, big upfront cost, this is not really adapted for a variable world where you need flexibility. And that's also at the core of what WeWork offers, right? So no upfront cost, office as a service, you scale it up and down whenever you need it, as many desks, as many meeting rooms as you need, with no commitments. And so ultimately, our competition is not really other office space companies. It's the traditional model of real estate or of offices that it needs to be transformed to a new world that will require flexibility and spaces that are very intentional. It's not really the 9 to 5 or the life or the cubicle life. It's spaces that are intentionally designed for collaboration, to create innovation. And that's also what WeWork has been. So we see a big opportunity out of this pandemic to position ourselves as the best solution as a flexible office as a service provider.
So the key words, without doubt, is flexibility, which you already had at WeWork, but you're insisting, focusing even more in that aspect. As I mentioned, you are the most wanted CMO in the world, always called to solve problems. You changed from 20 years in telecom, now you're in a different sector. How do you think marketing can help in the future of work companies through innovation or adapting to this new situation, this new work order? Can marketing give us some tips there? How are you doing it from your experience?
Yeah, well, the way I'm organizing our marketing functions and objectives is in 4 different ways. So the first one, in terms of brand and advertising, we need to create this perception, right? That we know we have a self-confident approach of how the future of work is, and we are the leader in terms of that office as a service flexible provider. So we just launched a campaign actually 2 weeks ago that where we have changed our selling line, our positioning, and it's called "That's How Tomorrow Works." So we work, that's how tomorrow works, and from that we're offering the reasons why this is true. And we talk about health and safety, we talk about flexible solutions, we talk about innovative workspaces. So that's one. Then the second one is we need to develop performance campaigns that can help bring leads, bring potential customers to our sales channel. So we have developed, and WeWork is a global platform, so now we have campaigns around the world where we measure every day, every week, the KPIs of potential leads. And it's as this is a product that needs to be sold to decision makers, it's based on not very usual tactics sometimes, right? It's not your traditional D2C. So we are investing in content development, in thought leadership. We are developing branded content where we show what's this future of work, and we can influence the decision makers.
Roger.
Another thing we're working on is on what we call base management, which is we need to help. We need to, just like I did in the telco business. So we need to treat all our subscribers, understand their develop life cycle management initiatives to make sure that we reduce churn, we improve satisfaction and NPS, and we also increase the lifetime value either by upselling, cross-selling, or giving them retention offers. So
Roger, I have to interrupt there. Roger.
Yep.
Next year, you have to come to the South Summit specifically, physically, because we have to dedicate you a whole morning. It's so much to learn from you. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're running out of time. Thank you so much, Roger, for being with us, giving us so many tips. There's so much we have to learn from marketing. Please keep us posted and tell us what's happening in WeWork throughout the coming months so we can learn from all those implementations of your strategy and copy some of them. In the meantime...
Fantastic. Yes,
Roger,
it will be a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for being with us. You made an effort from New York. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you very soon. WeWork, lots of luck. We have to keep on going, and we have, I believe, another conversation now with somebody very special. Well, everybody's special, but our next guest has almost 30 years in the construction and support service industries, and he's here today as Global Health and Safety Director at Ferrovial. Ferrovial is a good friend, a partner from South Summit, and as you know, a world-leading infrastructure operator. His main goal is to develop strategic approaches to health and safety that support businesses and people in creating safer workplaces for everyone, every day. Let's welcome Ben Legg. Ben, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me. I hope you're having a great day.
Great. Well, we're enjoying ourselves. We would like to have you here in person. Ben, I'm calling you Ben because I saw in your profile you Benjamin. No, it's Ben, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you can call me Benjamin or Ben.
Ben, let me ask you a question regarding in your experience, obviously, in health and safety in a company such as Ferrovial. How important is health and safety at workplaces, and how innovation can help to keep improving things in this matter?
So, I think I've been listening to some of the previous guys that you've had on, and they've touched on a few things that I think are incredibly important. And, for me, health and safety sometimes in society can conjure up some negativity. They might think about, accidents, incidents, blockages in production. But for me, it's 100% positive. I think about health and safety in an organization as a way of creating the overall culture. How it manages risk, how it operates, the way it integrates with society, how it influences its stakeholders, and ultimately how its employees can exist and create something really special from a day-to-day basis. So I think, health and safety for me in a company really is the heartbeat of how it is. Whether it's someone looking in and as an investor or somebody as a potential employee operating within it. From an innovation point of view, I think health and safety over the years has improved, but we're missing a link. And I think the last 10 years, we've really started to see how innovation and technology can support that step change. So, if you think we're just going to work the same way, well, don't expect any different result, and we will continue to harm people in an industry all over the world. If you start to then look at health and safety, recently I've mentioned Boeing 737 MAX, Deepwater Horizon, very mature, big industries, big businesses, but can be better. So, if you really want to start to see success at the next level, I think you have to integrate health and safety. And from an innovation point of view, I think it can impact on three levels. One, around engaging with employees, trying to provide that frictionless environment where people can exist and interact with each other in a very productive way. In systems, I think lots of businesses, probably people on these calls and at this event, their business have management systems, but how do you use them? Do they actually add value, or are they there to get some certificate at the end of the day? So using innovation or using technology to create that much improved interface between the person and the process, I think is another area. And education. I think the professor before talked about the liquid education. For me, the days of teaching people health and safety in a very sort of restricted environment is changing. How you can introduce people using immersive technology into high-risk environments can actually create better places of work and reduce risk when a task actually has to be done. all the way through to, thinking about, individuals and how they can build their own personal reputations around health and safety. We don't have a LinkedIn for blue collar workers. So, maybe the time is that we use technology for these guys to build their personal health and safety reputation.
Ben, I'm afraid we ran out of time, but thank you for that perspective you gave us. And obviously, your job is health and safety has to always be there, even if we don't see it. The innovation is always behind. So in a way, you're always there, despite some people not realizing. Yeah. So thank you so much for the job you're doing at Ferrovial and showing us what needs to be done to include innovation in health and safety as well. Big kiss to you, Ben. Thank you for coming, and to Ferrovial again, who is helping us throughout all South Summit 2020. We have to leave Ben because we're jumping to our next startup, number 8, and we're flying to Chile. In 2016, Microsoft chatbot had to be removed from Twitter for praising Adolf Hitler, denying the existence of the Holocaust, and posting aggressive racist tweets. The reason for its failure was its lack of ability to properly understand context, humor, irony, some of the real tools of human conversation. Our next startup uses semantic analytics to create a powerful chatbot SaaS platform. Here to tell us more is a human. He's called Ivan Vivas from Chatigo. Hello, Ivan. Welcome.
Hello, I'm Ivan from Chatigo, and I'm very excited to talk to you about our company. People tend to use their phones today more to chat than to talk. And that thing triggered our innovation company based in Santiago, Chile, where it all started. That we saw an opportunity to give our clients a way to communicate by chat from customers to clients. And that's where it all started. Chatigo is an integrated omnichannel SaaS strategy company that it controls, efficiently enhances customer experience through human attention and also through artificial intelligence via chatbots or robots. Chatigo integrates in only one platform several digital channels like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Instagram, web chat. And it also integrates with our own CRM, the main CRMs that are in the market today. Our solution comes in 4 modules. Number 1, human attention, where with plenty of tools, we customize and control the chats integrations between clients and live agents, our customers. Secondly, we have a proprietary chatbot platform that we give total autonomy to our clients to develop their own bots, and they can produce them, automate their processes. Number 3, we have a very graphic reporting system where our clients can control on real time their key elements that will let them know what's going on in their chat communication. And number 4, analytics, where we use artificial intelligence to analyze chats, tag them, and look at them. Our business model is very simple. We use monthly subscription for live agents, and we use charge per transaction on bots. Since our company started in mid-2016, we have been steadily growing, and we plan to forecast to close our sales in this year in over $3 million and over 350 customers. We have presence in 15 countries, 3 own offices, more than 20 partners covering all the American continent. Right now, we employ more than 50 people in development and sales area, with a potential market of over 3 million positions and a potential market in sales that is forecasting over $21 billion by 2022, with an average growth rate of 25%, is a very attractive market today. So Chatigo has been consolidating itself as a leader in the omnichannel industry for human attention and also for bots. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to answering your questions. Bye.
Thank you, Ivan. We are looking forward to those questions from our jury. I'm coming here to our wall, our virtual wall, our lovely jury. Do we have any hands in the air to ask Ivan from Chatigo? He's in Chile, waiting for your questions. I don't know, don't be shy. I'm going to look at our jury, our physical jury here at La Nave. I think I see a hand from Finn Murphy. It's okay. Finn, come along with me to ask your question to Ivan whenever you're ready.
Hey, Ivan. Thanks. That was a great pitch. I'm just curious, like, chatbots kind of had their moment in the sun and then have kind of steadily declined in terms of how users actually wanted to engage with them. Has that, in your view, has that market perception changed as the underlying technology, like the actual NLP technology, has improved? Or what do you believe the consumer sentiment is towards engaging with bots now?
Well, what I think that is going on right now is what our platform what is doing is we're giving the chat platform to our clients, which are the companies that are in the call center. So I think basic in the chatbots, because of the robots, is to really understand what process can be automated and what process cannot be automated. And I think that is the key. So the final consumer don't see a frustration talking with a robot. So we have to look at the process that we need to automate to don't frustrate the client.
Wow, good.
Oh, thanks.
You're okay. That was a tough, good question, Finn. Who knows if Ivan is a robot? Maybe he is. We don't know.
No.
You can never know. Finn, things have improved. Do we have any more hands up in the air for Ivan from Chatigo? I don't know if we have any more questions here from our virtual jury. I think he's explained everything. No, we're going to go to our next startup. And I'm going to come here with our jury because sometimes I feel you're a bit lonely. So I'm going to surround myself with this fantastic panel of friends. And we're going to leave Chile to go to the UK. Imagine for a second the perfect personal shopper. Dream come true. Someone who knows everything about your personal taste and preferences, knows your body size, hair, and skin tone, but knows much more. This shopper knows what's hot, what's trending right now, and in your specific region. The shopper then tailors the latest fashion with your taste to identify the perfect clothes for you. Best of all, there's no need to make polite conversation with this shopper or be diplomatic if you don't like the suggestions, because this shopper isn't human. Let's hear more from Kostas Koukovaras, founder and CEO of IntelliStyle. Kalimera, Kostas.
There's a huge shift happening in the 400 billion apparel industry. With shops closed for over 2 months, coronavirus has resulted in an entire season of unsold stock, damaging cash flows and margins. Consumer shopping habits have changed forever, accelerating the shift to online by 5 years, resulting in brands that we knew and loved disappearing from the high street overnight. In this new landscape, though, some brands have emerged stronger by following 3 simple strategies. Number 1, they inspire, because when we're out looking for new clothes, we're not just looking for a new dress. We're looking to satisfy that inner desire that we all have, the desire to look and feel great. Number 2, they personalize their product offering. In fact, Dolce & Gabbana, one of our customers, found that 20% of the sales executives are responsible for 80% of their sales because they know the customer that well that they can offer them the right product. Number 3, they have moved beyond the confines of physical space, engaging with customers across different channels. At IntelliStyle, we help retailers personalize their product offering across multiple channels through the use of AI-powered fashion styling. Here's how it works. Our AI trawls the web, collecting thousands of outfits put together by some of the world's most prestigious stylists, and then uses that knowledge to style customers based on the latest trends, as well as who that customer actually is. Our chatbot takes care of the most repetitive tasks of finding out about a customer, such as what's their skin tone, what's their hair tone, what's their eye tone, what's their body type, are they shopping for a particular occasion? And then it helps them find the right product. Customers can see outfit recommendations on the web on a product page, or customer service agents can use our AI to help customers find the right product remotely or in a physical store. And if your customers are more of a self-serve type, they can use our AI embedded in a smart mirror to help them find the right product. And we drive results. Our customers on average get a 10% revenue uplift, 20% higher full price sell-through, and 130% more revenue than traditional personalization approaches. Some of the world's most exclusive retailers use our services, and the reason why they do that is because of the quality of the personalization experience that outperforms everything else out there. How do we charge? Well, we charge a base fee plus commission tied to the uplift that we deliver for our customers. And if you take this model and apply it to the 481 billion apparel industry, that equates to 1.6 billion addressable market. We've previously raised £600,000 in venture capital, and we're raising 1.2 million to support our sales growth and reach 2 million in sales by 2021. So if you're passionate about driving retail performance, we'd love to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Efkaristopoulos, Kostas. Yes, we are passionate, and our jury is passionate as well. So do we have any questions for Kostas from IntelliStyle? Yes, I think I see a hand. Yes, Borja, come with me to the big screen and you can ask your question when you're ready.
Hi, Kostas. I would like to ask you about the business model you're applying. I want to know if you're just charging a simple SaaS fee, or you're trying to get into the revenues of the client, taking some commission on the sales or in the improvement of conversion. Thank you.
So we charge a base fee to cover our basic costs, but then we price differentiate depending on the client that we're working with. We're always ROI based. So we charge a commission effectively depending on the revenue that the customer has. So normally we drive a 10% revenue uplift, and we take a cut of that revenue uplift that we drive for the customer.
Yes, you're happy with that?
Thank you.
Excellent. I'm coming back to see if our jury here, if we have any more hands. Come on, guys, we're running out. We're running out of startups on this track. So do I see any more hands? Yes, I see one. Susie, yes. Susie from Notion Capital, come along whenever you're ready.
Thanks a lot. I guess I was wondering, what do you think is the average order value that you would need to generate from one customer in order to reach your target that you set?
So it's a combination of average order value and conversion that we're improving. We're improving our average order value by 42% and conversion by 124% for the clients that we work with. So that in combination with a click-through rate, which is around 5%, will give a 10% revenue uplift.
But how much is the total?
The total depends on the customer that you're working with. So if somebody has, let's say $100 average order value, then we'd bring it up to 142.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
She's happy now, Kostas. Any more questions from our jury? I don't think we see any more questions, and we don't have much time. So thank you to Kostas Kouroukavas, I cannot pronounce your name, Kostas, forgive me, Kouroukavas, and all our jury, questions from our jury. We're going to jump into our next section, which is a kind of a hybrid. Is this new word we all love now? Hybrid section. We have two guests here on the set, and one of the guests, she's coming in through our video, our window, this virtual window. So let me introduce her first. We have with us the head of merchant sales and acquiring Southern Europe at Visa. She's going to talk to us through the screen. She is Roble Dorronsoro. Roble. There is a point that perhaps is not being widely discussed when we talk about trends in the workplace, and that is the earned wage access. What is your view on this trend, and what's Visa's approach?
Thanks, Elena. Well, COVID-19 has accelerated trends already beginning to be seen a few years ago. And one of the areas where we've seen a greater change is in the workplace with a flexible working environment. But it's also true that until now, there's been some aspects that haven't changed. For example, paychecks. Employees have received their paychecks in the same scheduled manner for decades. Expectations for real-time payments combined with socioeconomic trends are fueling a change to the traditional pay schedule. This is even more important now due to the economic impact of the pandemic, and workers feel increased financial pressure. Research suggests that the ability to access earned wages prior to payday can aid in recruitment, engagement, and retention rates. Moreover, it impacts employees' health and financial wellness. In light of all this, Visa has partnered with WageStream to enable employees to withdraw a percentage of their earned wages before payday. And now, by working with Visa, they can opt to withdraw funds directly to their Visa card using Visa Direct. Visa Direct is the technological platform that powers instant and real-time payments through Visa's global network to send money to billions of cards worldwide. Thanks to this partnership with WageStream, over 350,000 European employees have now access to their earnings. And according to the company's research, 77% of users felt less stressed, almost 48% had avoided going into their overdraft, and 40% said they'd avoided using a payday loan. Visa Direct allows companies to create fast, comfortable and secure payments experiences using the debit and prepaid credentials. So yes, COVID-19 keeps impacting the workforce greatly, and it's more important than ever that we find ways to support workers on the front lines, helping them get faster access to their money. At Visa, we are proud to be working with WageStream to offer their users more control of their finances, especially during these challenging times.
Thank you so much to Raul Doronsoro from Visa for this message of positive and optimistic message. We're going to continue with this section. I told you it was a bit hybrid, and I have two guests that are going to accompany me, join me on this beautiful set. You know them both because one of them has been a member of the jury, is a member of the jury today, and the other one is well known as well. So please join me, Paloma Tejada and Juan Urdiales. Where are you? Here they are. Paloma Tejada from BBVA. Take that chair. And Juan Urdiales, lovely to see you again. It's been a long time. You don't change. No, please.
Okay.
Please, man in the middle. You don't change with time, Juan Urdiales. It's lovely to see you. Always looking young, energetic, and fantastic.
Thank you.
And Paloma as well, but I never met her. I mean, this is the first time I'm with her, so it's lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Guys, welcome to South Summit 2020. Juan is a friend from ever.
No, thank you for making the effort. In such a year, it's great to see this.
Oh, we're exhausted.
It's actually unbelievable. It's
great to be here.
And well, BBVA is a friend from ever as well. But anyway, I invite you to join us and have a drink here of this fantastic. It's water. Can you believe it in this can? No plastic water. I love it.
Let's get this can.
It's my first time sitting down on the whole morning, so I'm really tired. Okay, so let me start with you. I'm going to give Paloma a little break because she's been jury as well, asking questions. But Juan Urdiales is the CEO of Job and Talent. Everybody knows Job and Talent. And Juan, but you work with thousands of clients, obviously, all over the world. What are the greatest technology innovations you have seen being adopted, and are some of these being accelerated due to COVID?
Yes, actually we, as you know, we're a marketplace between employers and workers, and we have seen some trends being accelerated. One that has actually changed a lot our marketplace, and actually the satisfaction level of the workers and candidates in the marketplace has been the video interview during these times. Okay, it's like we used to have that feature in the app for years, and it was just adopted by 5-10% of workers and companies, because the companies of the marketplace, they wanted to see the workers in person to do a physical interview. But it was because of, but during COVID times, the first strong wave, there was no way to, we had a lot of clients actually that they were recruiting a lot of people. We work with a lot of e-commerce companies, supermarkets, and before COVID, all those companies were actually meeting physically the workers before hiring them, and now it's like after COVID, they have adopted the video interview. And the video interview is an automated interview that is run by the candidate in the app by themselves. And then what we have is some professional recruiters rating that interview on remote. It's not that we have one recruiter interacting with the worker. The worker record himself, answering some questions in real time that they come through. So we believe that this we have advanced probably 5 years in just 5 months, because we have now there is no hiring in our platform happening without a video interview, actually. Wow. So 100% of them, from a 5-10% adoption to 100%. And this is actually bringing us a new avenue and a new path, because we can plug in the future some AI features to actually rate automatically those workers and try to make a better matching by the use of AI in there, And
okay, let me stop you there, because I want to come back to you and tell us more about all that. But let me go to Paloma now, and obviously from your experience at BBVA dealing with companies, what are the challenges that you see these companies are facing right now in the frame of this future of work? Mm-hmm. What are the priorities in the COVID situation? Have their priorities changed?
Sure. Well, this pandemic has forced us all into, it's brought a disruption that forced us all into a new culture, no? And we have to reinvent ourselves, individuals and enterprises, no? But in the midst of all this disruption, we can find opportunities to instill positive change. Some of them you were just mentioning, no? That acceleration of and adapting of new technology. South Summit is a beautiful example of that adaptation, right, this year. That's what's making us resilient. And I think that the key is how to do that and what to prioritize. Luis Diaz from Accenture was mentioning a lot of the trends. I would prioritize 3 of them. The first one is the leadership style. We need to move from a command and control style to one based on trust. And there's many ways to do it. At BBVA, we're promoting values like entrepreneurship, empowerment, and accountability. A second trend or a second area of work would be performance. And actually, what is it that we value? Because in traditional models, we value and therefore reward it, and most likely we're confusing productivity with availability, effort, and presence. And now we need to really find those systems, performance systems, that identify the true creation of value and that don't confuse those presentism with productivity. And lastly, and probably most important, is we need to realize that we are facing a potential loss of engagement of our employees. Why? Because in a remote world, we're going to see each other less, no? It's undoubtedly. And that means that we're going to share less experiences together, and that will have an impact on the way we relate to each other and the way we relate to the company. The physical space allows for informal and formal connections that help us build trust and share values, common purpose, the company's purpose and values, no? So that's a big challenge, and there's probably many ways to do it. At BBVA, we launched an emotional well-being site with a lot of resources, but we also launched, for instance, a resilience program, right? And also we're testing, I'll talk a little bit more about that if we have more time, but we're testing, for instance, hybrid models, because we think that the on-site work and the remote work has benefits as well, no? So we can benefit, and we're focusing or prioritizing the physical space more for the team building dynamics or feedback or creation and innovation, no?
We have 1 minute left. I know this is TV, but getting back to what you were saying and Paloma mentioned, the opportunities you're seeing for job and talent, improving your product, your service to recruiters, but taking into account what she was mentioning about values and these priorities that have changed. Have you seen this, and are you actually using AI or other tools to implement that? Is it what she's saying? Is it resonating with you?
Absolutely. I think that we, on that sense, for example, one thing that we or myself as CEO, I was not tracking as much as I'm tracking right now, it was the employee NPS. Mm-hmm. So now it's one of the key metrics of every week. It's like we're trying to do as many surveys as we can to try to understand better the employees, how they're feeling, how they're engaged with the company, how they believe in the mission. Totally. And I think that is more relevant than ever, because before you were at the office, you had the pulse of the company. But when you're in remote, and we're going to be in remote, in our cases until September 2021, you need to have those tools actually to understand what your employees are thinking, what the team is actually what are the emotions of the team and the values that are being shared, and that's something that has been accelerated too in absolutely so in line with what Paloma is saying.
Paloma, I don't want to go without asking you what you wanted to say in 20 seconds.
Yes, I just wanted to add that right now the most crucial thing is that we don't forget the emotional side of the solution, because in a crisis, most companies focus on, and we need to focus on the contention, on the P&L, on the results. No, we need to protect the results, but we also have to focus on the emotional side, and applying empathy and compassion can help our employees navigate through this very complex journey right now, and that's why focusing on resilience that will help us overcome negative biases, build an agile mindset, or gain self-awareness and help us connect to each other in a more positive way is crucial. So I would just say that let's not forget the emotional side, and let's help our employees build resilience.
Wow, that was the most interesting, intense 10 minutes of my life. I have to say, I'm going to stay with one word that you said that I think it summarizes everything, which is trust. Trust and all these values that you both are in line for the future of work with the press. The answer you gave from Mad was saying is the new work order, not the future of work, but the new work order. I want to thank you so much, Juan Urdiales, for being here, Job and Talent, and Paloma, BBVA. We have to say goodbye to Paloma Tejada, BBVA, and Juan Urdiales, Job and Talent, but let's keep meeting.
Yes, of course.
I'm waiting for you here next year. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
We
you.
have to jump on to our next startup. This is TV, and there's no stopping. We are flying to the UK now to meet startup number 10. You are probably getting used to ads that seem to almost predict what you're thinking. Our habits, custom, and tastes feed powerful algorithms that some websites use to tailor much more effective ads. The thing is that we are increasingly concerned about sharing this data with websites, and more of us are using the web anonymously. So how do we create a better personalized experience for the anonymous website users? Seems impossible. And yet, our next startup claimed to be able to do it. Here to tell us how is Ben Mercer, CEO of Personify. Hello, Ben, welcome.
Hi, I'm Ben Mercer, co-founder at Personify XP. We're the world's first platform to create digital experiences for anonymous website visitors, creating a 10% new revenue opportunity for retailers and brands. Up to 95% of shoppers are anonymous, and this has been exacerbated by new legislation, starting with GDPR in May 2018, and the most recent California Consumer Protection Act in the US in January of this year. The world's never been more private. And even Google announced that they're phasing out third-party cookies in 2022. There needs to be a better way to be able to personalize to anonymous website visitors. The way Personify is being able to solve this is relate the way in which someone browses a website to a shopping mission. And what we think of a shopping mission is I go into a store and I speak to a store assistant. I can say I'm buying a white shirt, and immediately that person will ask me, why are you buying that white shirt today? And I could be buying that for a number of reasons. It could be as part of a suit for a wedding, a suit for work, a vacation, or even a date night. And as an online digital shopper, obviously the content and the products that I'd want to see will change depending on that mission. And driven from the first moment they hit the website, even from the Instagram ad or Facebook or Google search they come from, immediately we can start to personalize the experience by constantly working out the type of mission we think that person's on with every action they take. And using that data, we can start dynamically change every single page that person sees on the fly. And because retail is constantly changing with new marketing campaigns, social releases, and even new products, Personify reacts immediately to those changes to better personalize the experience. And we've seen great success across the board, across different categories with the likes of Farfetch and Burberry, all the way through to the likes of Boohoo and John Lewis. We see great revenue results, and typically during A/B tests and proof of concepts, we see somewhere between a 3 to 15% increase in revenue. And our model is very flexible. We know that retailers typically already have some kind of personalization software, and for that software, we typically pass those missions directly into that software for them to get a better handle of the experiences, or if they're not happy with their solution, we're actually fully replacing their existing personalization solution. And what we've seen is considerable growth, especially even during COVID. We're seeing around 20 to 30% increase quarter on quarter in our revenue. And the team, myself, I've been involved in e-commerce the last 10 years, and my co-founder has a PhD in personalization. And we have investors and advisors around us who have experience in both software and retail. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Ben. We had a few extra seconds there. Next time I buy a white shirt, I'm going to think of Ben and Personify XP. Hello, virtual jury. Do we have any questions for Ben? Luz, did you raise your hand? Luz Adel, Luz, my dear friend, Valencia. Sorry, I didn't see you in the corner. Come on, Luz, come with me and ask Ben your question. Whenever you're ready, Luz. Ben, remember 30 seconds to answer to Luz.
Got it.
Thank you for your presentation, Ben. How long it takes to implement the solution?
So it's very flexible, right? So we've built like a number of different pre-integrations into like a bunch of different platforms. We've got like 2 parts to the go live. We've got the first part, which is the tracking phase, where we're just learning about what people are doing on the website. That takes about half a day to set up. And then off the back of what we find, and typically for any retailer or brand, we find somewhere between 20 to 50 different shopping missions per country, per brand. And then that informs then what we can do from like a live website changing. And that typical process from then takes about 3 to 5 days. So in total, it takes about a month from starting the behavior tracking through to the personalization go live.
Happy?
Thank you.
Happy, Luz Adel?
Yes.
Happy.
By the way, thank you, Helena. I'm impressed about your energy, as always.
This is a teamwork, Luz. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that you don't see. This cannot be done alone at all. So we're going to leave Ben and the UK. Thank you, Luz. A big kiss to Valencia, Draper B1. And we're going to go on to our last startup of this track, the future of work, this morning, this first day at South Summit. So we leave the UK and we go to Germany. You all remember Henry Ford's famous quote, "If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses." He didn't believe in asking people what they want, but he would have loved to use our next startup services because they provide quantifiable insights using big data and AI to predict what people will want in the future. Is this cool or is this cool? They have already told me I'll want some coffee in a minute. But first, let's meet Stefan Link, CEO of Pioneer. Welcome, Stefan.
Welcome to Pioneer. Products and services are released today faster than ever with technologies like the internet. It has become more important than ever to understand exactly what customers need, and now faster than ever before. $76 billion is spent today in traditional market research and surveys to understand what customers want. But this way is not working for agile organizations because they need these insights on a daily basis. While there is thousands of feedback available in organizations, in service tickets and reviews, analyzing them is too complex, slow, and expensive for organizations and business today. Our solution allows to collect all of this feedback in real time, while an AI clusters and automates the analysis, providing quantitative insights, what products and services matter most to businesses and organizations. Let me introduce you to Daniel, product manager of a software organization. Today, he has to plan what features to deliver next on a weekly basis. But without knowing how many customers are affected, this job is a guesswork like for 2 million other product managers worldwide. Pioneer combines business and customer impact, identifying what features and products matter most, providing all data to make this job now reliable. The solution provides quantitative metrics and trends to know what matters tomorrow and providing actionable insights to take immediate actions. We have an easy-to-use solution that is plug-and-play ready and requires much less data in training and AI to automate the analysis, while also current competitors require months in setting them up. Pioneer reduces this down to a single day with our AI solution. Our business model is based on a subscription pricing of an average 5,000 euros per month, allowing us a total addressable market of around 7 billion euros worldwide. And we put together a rockstar team. I led international projects as an IT consultant before with 200 employees. Our head of sales scaled revenues from 0 to 5 million ARR before. And our tech team has founded 2 other startups and had more than 600,000 end users before. With our solution, we acquired first enterprise customers. And I'm excited to announce that we're releasing today our public beta while we are planning to raise our first seed round with the beginning of next year, accelerating the launch of our self-service solution. Join us. We want to empower everyone to take the right decisions faster with more confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan from Pioneer. Join us. Do you want to join him in the big screen whilst you ask him a question? I wonder, jury, this is your last chance. Carlos was first. Carlos, come with me and get your question ready.
Congrats, Stefan, for your platform. I think it fits very well with the pain of the business-to-consumer companies. My question is, what is the difference between your solution and the solution for competition?
Thank you. So the main difference is the easy-to-use and self-service approach that Pioneer provides. So basically, we rely on a transfer learning AI approach that doesn't really require labeled data and doesn't require this setting up and data science teams. So instead, end users like product managers can plug and play and gain insights from the data in day one. Yeah, and it learns along the way with recommendations from the system, and that's why it improves the accuracy. And other solutions require months in actually achieving this accuracy.
We ran out of time. Thank you there, Stefan and Carlos. I believe there was a question from Andy from the Venture City. Is this right?
Yes.
Yes,
you.
Andy, wait. We need to fly you here. We take a bit of time to fly you to this. Now you're in the big screen. Go ahead, Andy.
Yes, my question is, how do you plan to gain customers? How do you plan to get to the final user and reduce the friction in the sales?
So yes, we rely both on inbound and outbound sales strategies, actually. Of course, using all like marketing strategies, like social media, etc. But nevertheless, we're having a bottom-up sales approach. So that's the strength of Pioneer. Just plug and play the solution. And so set up an account on the website, gain insights quickly. And while hooking actually the end users, we find out who's interested and then sale within the organization and the enterprise.
Thank you. Okay, Andy, we're happy with that. I don't know if there's any other questions. This is your last chance. No more questions because we ran out of time. So thank you to Stefan of Pioneer in Germany, and obviously thank you to our jury, the physical jury at La Nave here with us for their presence, and our virtual jury in that fantastic wall we have over there for joining us. Tonight, this afternoon, we'll know the winners of this track, Future of Work. Good luck to all entrepreneurs. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the jury. Strength and honor to decide, take a decision who is going to go to the final. And before we finish the track, well, to end the track, we have a fantastic conversation prepared for you, for us, for all of us, with our dear friend of South Summit. I think he's ready for us. US author Hunter Thompson said, and I quote, Generation X got off easy compared to the hideous fate of the poor bastards in Generation Z. They will be like third-class passengers on the Titanic, trapped in the watery bowels of a sinking, unsinkable ship. End of quote. This wasn't mine. Excuse my bad words. So it doesn't look good for Generation Zers or Zoomers. Yet, The Economist has described Generation Z, or Z, as a more educated, well-behaved generation than those that preceded it. How will they adapt to these difficult times? Here to discuss this matter for our final chat of the day, we have invited a well-known investor, successful entrepreneur, and dear friend, as I said, of South Summit. No other than one of Shazam's co-founder. Let's welcome Diaz Muhaji. Diaz, how are you? Lovely to see you again.
Very well. I hope you can hear me okay.
We can hear you and see you okay. You remember La Nave? You were here, I believe, a couple of years ago on our arena stage.
Absolutely.
I think I
fantastic experience.
Introduce you. We miss you, but it's great to have you there with us here with us. So, Diaz, first of all, tell us, well, who doesn't know Shazam? Who doesn't have Shazam on their phone, you know? I still remember Chris Barton's presentation last year. That was excellent. Lessons you've learned from Shazam that you find helpful today?
You know, we started Shazam 20 years ago now, even though that sounds horrible. And one of the things which I learned from that experience is that it's okay to be ahead of your time, because then you get a chance to invent the future. So that's the kind of the lesson learned I took from that experience, all the ups and downs over the years. And that's what I try to kind of apply, I guess, in my life today.
Wow, excellent. That was pretty good. So even if you're ahead of your times and you make mistakes, you'll still have time to fix them, right? What do you see then from your experience now? And I remember when you started Shazam, you said you were very naive and you made a lot of mistakes. But now, with your experience about business and shaping the future from 5 to 10 years' time, I know it's a long time and anything can happen, but you're not as naive as you were. What can you tell us about what you see?
You know, I've found as an entrepreneur, we sometimes made the same mistakes over and over again, being over optimistic, you know, hoping for the best. But I stick with that because I think we need to have that optimism. And what I see really is three key themes shaping the future. The first is perhaps obvious, which is, you know, tech. The second is green. And the third is youth. And I think those three trends or macro themes coming together will give us a picture for the future in 5 or 10 years from now. So I look carefully at what's happening in technology, you know, what's happening with themes around sustainable development, renewable energy, and then perhaps most importantly, how do young people see their world today and in the future?
Let's talk about that last one then, Jirash, about the next generation and the youth. Well, we are not Generation Z. We are not, well, you might be a millennial, maybe old ennials.
No, I'm Gen X.
Welcome and join the club. What do you see in this new generation, these Zers, Zoomers? What are the characteristics that you see?
Yeah, so this generation is very entrepreneurial. I mean, I've got 3 kids, Tanya, who's almost 14, Max, who's almost 11, and Jeremy, who's going to be 8. And so I can see the world a little bit through their eyes. Generation Z is the one which is now entering the workplace. And they're the first generation which is growing up alongside some of the themes we've been hearing throughout at South Summit. You know, artificial intelligence in the workplace. I've invested in a company called MiVite, which helps big companies avoid unconscious bias in their recruitment processes. And MiVite calls this augmented intelligence, working alongside these intelligent machines. I think the second is that we've got to remember that Generation Z are both employees. They're also customers. They're also influencers. And that makes a big difference in how they seek the workplace. The kind of fit for them is not just about money, but having meaning as well in their careers. And frankly, I think as influencers, their role is you know, dramatically more than the generations which came before. So I think that combination makes this generation, you know, substantially different from the ones which came before, even though I did find your quote at the beginning really hilarious.
Okay, just a couple more questions quickly. One, could you tell us another of your current investments that either are led by this Generation Z or that youth, or are addressed to that youth that you think are quite interesting or particularly, well, original, ahead of the trend?
Absolutely. So I should say that I spent a couple of Save the Children, which gave me a real belief in the power of young people to change the world. So I try to now put my money where my mouth is and invest in what I call tech for good. So companies which are trying to, you know, build a great business, but also have a positive impact on society. And I particularly look for those characteristics in the CEOs and the team, that resilience to be able to overcome, you know, tragic events like some of what we're living through this year. So I've invested in EdTech, so shifting from traditional education to, you know, online digital entertainment, education rather, I've invested in companies which help immigrants in the UK called Damme. I've invested in a company called Beam, which helps homeless people, a company called Erase All Kittens, which helps girls learn how to code. So it's a variety of themes, but all of these are people, young people, I believe, on a mission to change the world.
So it's a social investment, impact investment, not only to make money, but to do good to the world. Well, this is where all the investments is going at the end of the day. Just to finalize then, a quick advice or a clear advice to organizations from your point of view about the future of work. Apart from what you said, tech, green, youth, is there any tip, any final message you can give to organizations about this future present?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's worth understanding the mindset of young people and how they want to bring together meaning or purpose and profit. But more importantly, I think we're stuck in this pattern this year about what the new normal is. And my view is, don't do that. Just learn to thrive on uncertainty and change. And it's the organizations who learn the best who I think will succeed in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And the same is true of individuals as well. So the more adaptable and the more willing to thrive in that uncertainty, I think better off people will be. And you know who does that really well?
Who?
Kids do that. They don't wait to see what the future has for them. They adapt, they change, they grow. And that's why I think young people are a great example, a great inspiration for me.
Okay, so thrive in this VUCA environment, in the uncertainty, et cetera, environment. Thank you so much, Diaz. It was lovely seeing you again. We hope that you come back to South Summit, whether it's physically or virtually. We feel very close to you. It was fantastic having you. Thank you for joining us on this very first day at South Summit 2020. All our love.
Fantastic. I hope to be back. Take care.
See you soon. Well, we couldn't finish our first track, Future of Work, on a better note with our dear friend, co-founder, Shazam co-founder, Diaz Mukherjee. It's been an accelerating, thrilling first day at South Summit. We finished our first track of the day, but I remind you of a few things. As I said, the winner of this track will be announced this afternoon. You can also tune later, we'll be online to see the parallel sessions that were, whilst we were here, on education, health, and well-being. Make sure you join tonight or this afternoon our primetime sessions where you hear from people like Wendy Koh from Tech for All, Ana Patricia Botín, Eric Yuan from Zoom, and guests like Carlos Sainz, the rally driver, and our own special guest, Antonio Banderas, needs no introduction, so don't miss our primetime every afternoon. Just thank all the entrepreneurs, jury, and obviously you, the audience. Without you, there's no show, there's no South Summit. And I'm just going to leave with that note that Diaz said, don't be afraid of being ahead of the trend, ahead of the curve, because the future is now. Thank you so much. I'll see you all tomorrow on second day at South Summit 2020. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.